Now, as long as it's not extremely dense, you can usually pound it in with your hand, but if not, this is when you want to get a baton. Something like this, and you typically want it heavier, you know, than what you're trying to split. You're not going to split something big with a little baton because you need some weight. Tap it right down on top of the blade. Once you penetrate the wood, then you want to tap the front of the blade while keeping even pressure on the handle. Now, a better tool for this would be a hatchet, but sometimes if you're going to do really fine work, like splitting something like this, a knife will typically give you a little bit more control. But something bigger like this, ideally, you would want a hatchet, but you could use this if you really wanted to. Same thing, just smash down on top of the knife, and then whack it on the front of the blade, even pressure, all the way down. When you get far enough, you should be able to twist it, pop it apart. That's batoning wood. All right, so a little bit of hatchet work. Obviously, this is gonna have a little bit heavy overhead, giving you some more mass behind your swings. Now, a lot of people, you know, you would think you would do this, but if you glance off, you could bury this into your hand. If you want to do this method, you're going to want to take like another stick like this and prop it, and then from there, you know, you can chop down into the wood. Or another way, you can put your hatchet blade halfway on, halfway off of the board, anchor the heel of the handle on it as well, and then just kind of clamp everything together, and then just start tapping it down onto a hard surface like this. And then twist the hatchet just like that. The one cool part to keep note is the axe handle has just a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a concave here. This is where your hands will go, because the heel of your hatchet will give you that space so you don't crush your knuckles. Just some hatchet stuff for you. Is I see a lot of people, you know, they're chopping wood and sawing wood, and they have the basic knowledge of, yeah, you gotta saw it, right? But there are rules that will make things easier. So you do want the side that's gonna fall off elevated. So that's usually braced on something, and this is just another fallen tree here, and I'm using that as my fulcrum point. Once this is cut, that's the pivot point in which the two sides will fall apart. You wanna make your cut past the fulcrum on the side that's falling off. If you make it on the other side, as you cut, the wood will actually pinch in itself and it'll bind up your blade. Gravity, once you start cutting through it, will start taking the log with it, opening up that gap as you saw, and falling off, and you're good to go. Now, when you're cutting, you need to brace one side to stabilize it, otherwise the whole log is going to be moving with you. Just throw a foot, your left foot on this side if you're right-handed. As I saw through this, you can see my cut is just past that pivot point, past that brace log. Gravity is going to take over and opening up this saw gap, so it'll allow me to cut clean through. Just like that. Let's talk about the saw. This is made by a company called Silky Saw. They have a couple of different versions. They have the Pocket Boy, which is really small. They have the Gom Boy, which is a little bit sized up from that. There's the Big Boy, which is what this one is. And there's like the Katana Boy, which is huge. Now this one is the Outback edition. I don't know what makes it special, but I know it slices like butter. It's a pull saw, so which means your sawing motion is on the pull. These blades, you know, they're fairly flexible. So what you don't want to do is push while trying to saw, because you end up binding your blade, it'll bend, and then you're stuck with a bent blade. So pull the cut, ease off when you push, pull the cut, ease off when you push, that kind of thing. The Big Boy, this one is the edition with the curved blade, which makes cutting a lot more efficient. Absolute beast of a saw, lightweight, and can just do hell of a lot of work. Toots, he has the Katana. This thing it's like literally the size of a samurai sword. These are tools for some serious wood processing. When you're in the wintertime and you have to take a deuce, a couple things you want to keep in mind is make sure you're ready to go. This is not a time to sit here and scroll through Facebook for a half hour. Now, my preferred method is the lean tree method. That's basically where you get a sturdy tree, and you have to have a little bit of upper body strength to do it. I got to drop down my overalls, and once I get that down and around my ankles, you want to kind of stage your toilet paper. What do you do with this? You don't want to set it in the wet snow. So basically, when you drop all your pants and everything down around your ankles, there's a little pocket right here, and that's where your toilet paper will sit. Once you get all that ready and you're ready to go, you're going to want to lock your fingers behind this tree. Plant your feet close to the tree, stick your butt way back. The reason why you want to do that is because normally when you go poo, you pee at the same time. So you got to clear all your pants and everything. Once you're done doing your business, clean yourself up, and then there's also a hole down here, a cat hole. Well, we'll just shovel kind of everything in there once things have frozen.